So what it's like being a delivery driver and what it's like picking up one order. So first off, you got to find the restaurant. You got to make sure your car is clean. You got to make sure your car is working right, so that way your car don't fuck up. You got to check your tires. You got to check your oil. You got to check your gas gauge. Make sure you got enough gas. Make sure you don't have to stop in the middle of an order to get gas. You got to make sure that you have enough oil, that you're not oil isn't leaking, because my oil likes to disappear for some reason. So I fill at least a quart of oil up every time that I drive this bitch. So and then you got to make sure that your oil's at the right level. Which mine is never at the right level. You got to check your tires, make sure you don't got no flats, make sure you don't got no low tire pressure. Let's see, you got to make sure that you have all your insurance information and everything else with you. And then after that, you have to go to the restaurant. You have to make sure that you show up at the right restaurant, make sure that you get into the restaurant's parking lot without getting ran into because someone feels that you're going too slow, or that you're trying to find an address that you shouldn't be trying to find, or that you're in their way. They're trying to do more important things than you. So and then you got to deal with asshole drivers trying to ride you and trying to get you out of the way and trying to see what you're doing or be nosy or get in your way or whatever. And then once you get into the restaurant parking lot, then you have to deal with the restaurant people, the people in the parking lot that are trying to find parking also. They're going to pull out in front of you. They're going to pull out behind you. They're going to almost run into you multiple times. They're going to cut you off, take your parking spot because they're more important than you, and they don't give a damn about you trying to find parking because they're trying to find parking. And then once you get out of your car, finally get out of your car, you finally get to the restaurant, finally get out of your car, finally find a parking spot. After dealing with all that other bullshit, then you find the parking spot, you pull up to the parking spot, you get out of your car. You have to make sure that you don't hit nobody's door because they're parked so fucking close to each other. And then, and there will be multiple parking spots, but they will not be parked right next to you. Or they will not be parked in the parking spots way far away from you. They will be parked right directly next to you, trying to get the same exact spot that you're trying to get, even though there's many parking spots that will be right next to you. So, and then you got to make sure that you squeeze out and that you don't hit somebody's door. And once you get out your car, and you finally get out your car, and you get to walk up to the door, and then you're going to have a whole family of people that are in front of you, and they're standing there, and they're just talking in front of the door, and hanging out in front of the door while you're trying to get into the door so you can pick up the customer's order. And then once you get into the restaurant finally, and then you get into the restaurant and you got a line full of people, and you got to walk past all these people, and they're all looking at you crazy like you're a fucking idiot for walking past them, and that you're trying to cut them, and you're trying to do something special, and giving you dirty looks and looking at you like you're trash. And you got to get past all these people and a full line of people, and you got to go pick up the customer's order. So you pick up finally get to the front after passing all these people that are looking at you like you're trash because you're trying to cut them. You finally let them know that you're there to pick up an order, and that you're not trying to cut them, and you're just trying to pick up an order real quick. Sometimes that don't even work. Sometimes you got to look at the people like, hey, I'm supposed to do this, and then you get to the front. And when you get to the front, sometimes you may or may not get the person at the customer service register or at the register that works there. They may or may not realize that delivery drivers are supposed to go first because we are not paid by the hour, we are paid by the delivery. And the customer's order probably has been sitting on that shelf for a while, and probably has been sitting there for a while. So it needs to hurry up and get to the customer because it causes contaminants and causes other bacteria to start forming as the food is just sitting there, hanging out, not freshly made no more. You're supposed to hurry up and get that food to the customer. So then they may or may not see you. They may just help the whole damn line and then see you, which I've had that happen multiple times, based on how they feel about you, which usually they don't feel too good about you. And then after you get to the front and you deal with that and you really try to get their attention, you finally get their attention to give you the customer's order, and then you get to tell them, okay, I need this order from this person for this person. And then they decide whether they want to find that order or not, because sometimes they will say, oh no, it's getting made still, and it's not getting made still, it's sitting on the shelf right behind you, and you have to point it out to them like, hey, isn't that the order right there that I'm looking for? And then they finally go, oh yeah, okay, that is the order that you're looking for. Oh, okay, I get it. And they finally give you the fucking order. And then they want you to jump on one foot, tap your head, tap dance, do all this extra shit. You got to confirm the order. And sometimes even after you confirm the order, you show them that you confirmed the order, and they'll still be sitting there going, you got to confirm the order. You got to confirm the order. And you're like, dude, you don't see it where it says success or where it says it's confirmed order or I confirmed the order? That means I confirmed the order. That's exactly what that means. And I just showed you that I confirmed the order. If you were paying attention to what I was doing or to all the demands that you're barking out, if you were paying attention to the demands that you're barking out at me, and then you would see that I just confirmed the order. So, and then after you finally get past that and you finally get to their attention that you did confirm the order and that you are a delivery driver and that you are supposed to be picking up that order, because they will look at you like you're a fucking thief and they'll look at you like you're trash and that you're not supposed to be picking up that order or that you're doing something wrong. And after you finally get the customer's order, and you've probably been holding your bladder the whole time because you're driving forever. So you've been holding your bladder the whole time, and then you finally get the customer's order, and you finally get to, or may or may not get to use the restroom before you get out of there. Hopefully before you get the customer's order. So you finally get the customer's order, and then you're leaving, and you have to walk past all these people that are blocking entrances and blocking exits, and people that are walking in and out of doors, blocking the doors. Then you got to get back to the parking lot, and you got to do the same thing with the parking lot again. You got to squeeze into your car. Now with the delivery order, you got to squeeze into your car. Hopefully it's not a big delivery order if you have someone really close to your car, because if they're really close to your car, it's going to be really hard to get that order in and out of your car. So then you got to get it into your car, and you have to get it into a delivery bag. And then once you get it into a delivery bag, which hopefully you got a big enough delivery bag. Sometimes you might not even have a big enough delivery bag. For me, that's not a problem because I have like collection of delivery bags. So once you get it into the delivery bag, and then you have to make sure that all the drinks and everything are sealed up. And then you also have to make sure that all the drinks are sealed up and all the bags are sealed up, because sometimes the restaurants will not seal the bags of food and will not seal the drinks, right? So now you got drinks spilling all over your car, or you got food just popping out the top of the bag and falling all over the place. I've had to tell restaurants like, hey, that is not proper to deliver food that way, or that is not proper to give me the bag that way. And I've had bags of chips, just like homemade tortilla chips or whatever from Mexican restaurants, just coming right out the top and like spilling all over the place as I'm carrying the bag. Or they give me a bag that tears, and then they're just like, yeah, you could take it like that with the tear in it, it's alright. Like, no, I'm not going to take it like that with the tear in it, and it's not alright. Or they'll tell me, here, you gotta pour the soda, you gotta go get the soda. Like, dude, I don't have a food handler's license. I'm not supposed to be doing actual putting the person's food together. You're supposed to be putting the person's food together. All I'm supposed to do is grab the food and take it and go. You're supposed to put it together. You go get the soda. But sometimes I'm just a nice guy and I don't say it and I just go do it. So then I got to go get the person's soda. I got to fill it up. And I got to make sure that it's sealed right, which most of the time it's not sealed right. It don't have stickers on the top to make sure the damn soda don't come out. So the soda's going to spill all over your car. And as it's spilling all over your car, you got to clean that up afterwards after you take the customer's order out. You got to find a spot that you have that is safe for the customer's soda, because you probably have your own drink or whatever right there next to you, so you have something to drink on the way. So now you have to make room for the customer's drinks, and you have to make sure that the customer's drinks and food are separate. Okay, and then you have to make sure your seatbelt's on. You got to make sure you back out without hitting anybody's car. You got to make sure you get into your car without scratching anybody else's door. Once you're back out of the spot that you're trying to get out of, you got to make sure nobody's zooming through the damn parking lot, because people will zoom through the parking lot and almost smash into the back of you as you're trying to pull out, and people will cut you off. They don't give a damn about you trying to get out. They'll smash into the back of you and they'll be like, well, he saw me and I had the right of way, and they're all worried about the right of way. So they had the right of way and they're trying to zoom past you, and they're going like 15-20 miles per hour in a 5 mile per hour parking lot. So they zoom past you and you almost hit multiple people, and you're trying to back out, and you finally get to back out. And then when you do back out, and you finally get to back out, and you finally get back on the road, and then you have to get past all the people that you're trying to turn into the road onto, because most of the time you're trying to turn into a busy road, and all the cars that are going There's multiple people in traffic, and they're going to make sure that you don't get out of the parking lot because they're more important than you, and that you don't get to go out into the traffic. Not many people slow down or let you go out. They're more important than you. They've got more important places to go than you. So you got to get out there into the traffic, and then once you get out into the traffic, you got to make sure that you don't crash into nobody, and you get to the customer address right. And while you're trying to get to the customer's address right, they're trying to text you, they're trying to send you special directions, what to do when you get there, blah, blah, blah. So they're texting you. You're having to read text messages while you're driving, which I don't like to do. I will wait till I get there and then read the text message, and they get mad at me for that. So then you're dealing with an aggravated customer because you didn't read their text messages or you didn't read the special directions, even though you're not supposed to read stuff and drive. So, and then you finally get to the customer's fucking address. Hopefully it's a house, because a house is a lot easier to get to than an apartment building. An apartment building, you got to find the apartment number, and some of these places are like playing like bingo. They're like G4, G10, G255. You know what I mean? So, and then you got to do that. You got to deal with trying to find the customer's address. Oh, once you pull into the address, or you pull into the neighborhood, you got to have all the customers' neighbors looking at you like you're not supposed to be in that neighborhood, because they know all the cars that come into that neighborhood, and you're not one of the cars that come into that neighborhood. And then you got to have them looking at you like you're there to steal something, or you're there to do some crazy shit. And then some of them will follow you around, and some of them will block you and try to ask you what you're doing there. I've had that happen multiple times, like, hey, what are you doing in this neighborhood? Or you have to have people that are nosy, which is not always a bad thing, but you have to have people that are nosy that will ask you, like, what you're looking for, or multiple other things. So, and then you got that. You got to deal with neighborhood watch people, and you got to deal with people driving crazy or following you around the neighborhood because they think you're trying to scope something out. And then after you deal with that, let's see, and then you get to the customer's address finally, and you're trying to find an apartment number, which hopefully you're trying to find a house, not an apartment number. But if you are trying to find an apartment number, and then you can jump out, you're trying to find an apartment number, and sometimes it's blocked off, so you got to go around something. You got to go either around a car, around a house, around a mud puddle, around a vicious dog. You got to park somewhere further than you need to park, or then right next to the house, or right next to the apartment building. And that's the worst one, because when you got to park somewhere that's not next to the apartment building, or right directly next to the apartment building, they go, hey, you passed my apartment building, this apartment building, blah blah blah, come back, you're going the wrong way, da, 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 da. And then the customer starts talking to you like a jackass, and talking to you like you don't know what the fuck's going on, and you haven't did this a million times. And then you finally fucking get to text them back, and you say, hey, check it out, I'm on my way, I'm almost there, I'm gonna be there in 1 second, you just gotta give me patience, and you gotta let me get around some stuff, because I couldn't park directly at your staircase, so I had to park in a parking spot away from your staircase so I could walk to your house. And I am walking towards your building right now, actually, and I do know where you live, and I do understand that I am nowhere near your address or near your apartment building, and I am headed that way. And then once you let them know that, and then you finally fucking get there, they're agitated because you didn't park directly on top of their building or on top of their apartment number, and that you had to walk however many apartments over to get to their apartment building, because also while you're trying to pull into the apartment building or find the address or find the apartment number, you got someone riding behind you getting pissed off because you're going slow, because you're trying to find the apartment number, you're trying to find a house address, and they're more important than you. And instead of going around, they want to ride your ass, and they want to try to pretend like they're going to smash into the back of you and cuss you out and scream and yell and act like a fucking idiot. And then you got to deal with all that. And then once you finally get to the apartment number, and you've read all the directions, and you've been cussed out by all the customers, and you've been cussed out by all the customers' neighbors in the restaurant, or looked at dirty and treated badly by all the customers and all the customers' restaurant, and the customers' neighbors and the whole neighborhood. And then you finally get to the customer's address, and you finally get to put the customer's order down on the cement or on the ground, and then you read the directions that say, don't knock, which I was planning on knocking anyway, because it's not our policy to knock on your door unless you ask us to knock on your door. So, and then they say don't knock, blah blah blah, and they give you all these different directions, and you got to follow those directions. Sometimes they will say knock, so you got to make sure you follow those directions. And then once you follow those directions, and then you finally get to put the customer's order down, and you got to put it either on a chair or on a table, which I usually try to put it on a chair or table. I don't like putting the customer's food on the ground, but sometimes you put it on the ground. So when you put it on the ground, and then sometimes you got to knock or not knock, you get to walk away. And then when you walk away, you got to get back in your car. You got to mark it as delivery. You got to take a picture. You gotta sit there and you gotta tell the customer, okay, I delivered your food. Can you please give me a 2-digit number that the people say that I need, that the app says I need a 2-digit number from you to confirm that you got your food. And then you confirm they got their food by either knocking or by getting the little 2-digit number, or by taking a picture. And then once you take the picture, you get the 2-digit number. Some customers will be very polite and they will say thank you or something like that. Some of the customers are super awesome. They will give you a great tip if you do everything correctly. Some of the customers are pleasant to deal with. Some of the customers are very not pleasant to deal with. I've had one guy cuss me out because his order took an hour long, and I got the order, and it took me 10-15 minutes. It took me 10-15 minutes to get the order, get it from the restaurant, and bring it to him. And he lived like 10 minutes away, so it took me like 5 minutes to get the order and to actually confirm it, and then to take it to him took like 15 altogether. But he had it ordered it an hour ago, but it got dropped by the other delivery drivers that were gonna pick it up before me, because the guy's an asshole, and the delivery tip or the delivery amount was not enough, and no other driver wanted the order, so I was the only driver that would deliver to this guy and deal with his asshole personality and not take a good tip or not get good pay for it. So I was the only driver that would do that. So after I got there, the guy is harassing me the whole time, and then I finally get there and he's cussing me out, telling me, "Did you deliver my order?" Like, dude, I delivered your order 5 minutes ago. Your order's been sitting there, and I confirmed it, and it's already said that it was confirmed, and it sent you a thing saying that it was confirmed. I don't know why you're still texting me, but he is still texting me even after the whole thing was over and everything. He's still texting me. So, and then sometimes you have to deal with customers that are assholes like that, but most of them are not. A lot of them are not. I can't say most of them. A lot of them are not. A lot of them are actually really nice people. I love my customers, actually. But and then sometimes you have to deal with that, and sometimes you have to deal with Grubhub calling you, or DoorDash calling you, or whatever, and asking you questions like what happened with this or that, or all this other stuff. And then after you finally get the number and the picture and deal with all the questions and all the instructions and all the other stuff, and then you have to back out and you have to find the next order, and you have to wait for the next order, or you got the next order already ready and then you have to go to the next order. But while you're backing out, you have to get out of the apartment building. You have to make sure that you don't get smashed into again, and you have to make sure that you have somewhere to pull over so you can check your thing to make sure you're going the right way to the next order. Oh yeah, that's what it's like dealing with being a delivery driver. Sorry you guys had to hear all that. I just wanted you to see the reality of dealing with being a delivery driver. Some of you guys think it's a cakewalk. It's so fucking easy. It's really not. It really, really isn't.